Hello, this is Matthew Devine. I am a teaching assistant for the bioinformatics for life scientists. And today I want to talk about using the terminal, writing Python scripts, and just creating an overall streamlined workflow for the tutorials. And the reason I'm doing this is because I had to explain this to a number of people during the tutorial session last week on Friday. So here we go. Most of you had seen we're able to open up a terminal window like this. Now don't be worried, I'm on a Mac, you guys have a Linux installation, but everything is very similar. I think you'll be able to get this. So most of you were able to open up your terminal and we're able to get to the Python shell like this. And that was good. And most of you then started to try to do all of your assignment work inside the Python shell, which got to be somewhat tedious because every time you made a mistake, you had to type in everything again from scratch. So my suggestion for those people was to say, hey, why don't you just come over here and open a new window, right? For you Linux people, I guess the file new window is right above the below the bar here. And so that's what I'm doing here. And the beauty of that is that now I can use a text editor to write my code in. The text editor is called Nano. You call it by typing it into the command line, Nano. And as opposed to just opening an untitled text document, we'll go ahead and name it up front. And we'll call this test.py. And it's important to put that .py in there because this will let our Python know that it's a py file. Okay. So there you go, there's your file.test. And what we can do, for example, is one of the things that we had in the assignments last week was a for loop and using the range function. And don't forget to tab over because everything underneath this for loop here has to be tabbed for it to run inside the for loop. And we can just print the value of I right there. Super simple. Now, one of the issues that I have with Nano is that it's really what you'd call old school, and therefore the controls are not very obvious. For example, to save, it's called write out, and you use Control O as seen. So I type Control O, and you see that it asks me if I want to write test.py, and I just press enter, and it confirms this writing 2 lines. Now what I can do is I can just come back to my Python shell and I can use the function exec file like so, and it takes a string which will be the text document's name, test.py, and I can execute it, and you see there it is, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what my for loop printed out. If I come back over here and let's say I delete the colon, which is necessary, do the Control O to save by pressing enter, it verifies, then come over here and I can press the up key and it will give me the last code that piece of code that I wrote in as a shortcut, and then press enter. You see that I get the syntax error, invalid syntax, because the last place that the Python code successfully ran was here at this arrow, which means that it was expecting to have that colon there afterwards. So I just go back and now I can save that with Control O and press enter to confirm, and you'll see that it works. Now I'm going to open up another shell window, terminal window, and what I want to do here is to show you that you can also run this test.py here in the terminal window. You don't have to be in this shell. And the idea here is that now you can have 3 windows open. One you can be writing your code in that you want to test, and so for longer pieces of code, Here you might say, I want to test something out. For example, for I in range 5, what does that range function do actually? Oh, I see. It makes a list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe I just kind of want some more information about that. Would it be possible to do something else with that range? And here we see, oh, yeah, it is. Look, okay, normally you just give range plus a stop value here. It gives you a list of integers. Or you could use the range to have a stop value, and in these square brackets, possibly even a step value. And then you can read about it here. Now I just press Q to end it, but now I see I could, for example, start at 2, go to 10, and only do steps of 2 if I read that correctly, and I get 2, 4, 6, 8. And so now I could come over here to my code, and I could 2, 10, 2, type that in, pressing the Control O and saving, enter to verify. And I can come back here to the shell, and then I get 2, 4, 6, 8, for example, or pressing up twice, or 3 times in this case, 4 times, I get that piece of code that I ran 4 times ago. And there you go. So I hope this was helpful to you, and that this will streamline your coding in the future. That's it. Okay, thank you for your time.